Okie doke, take two. I might actually include the first part that I did, and we cut some video together. I was trying to shoot this all in one take. I've been trying to figure out exactly what it is I want to say, the introduction. I mean, this is an important video, right? Introducing the World Light Chaser to the world. I'm World Light Chaser. I am the World Light Chaser. I'm the only World Light Chaser. No, I'm one of many World Light Chasers, and hopefully the concept that I'm throwing around right now will probably tick off most camera manufacturers. Sorry, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, Olympus, whoever else is out there. Although Olympus, I've still got your Olympus TG6 camera with me. A shout out to GoPro, the GoPro Hero 11 with the dive housing. And I've held on to the Rode Wireless Go Mic 2 system, of which I'm not using. I'm using a very old, cheap, plugged into my phone, which is the Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus, which is what I'm shooting this on right now. So I can't show you that. You all know what a smartphone looks like. So that's what I'm doing. That's my camera equipment for the next year, at least. I sold earlier this year my interchangeable camera system, 2 bodies, Olympus cameras with the standard complement of lenses that you needed. So it was a lot lighter because I had just switched over from like a Sony camera. I've been going through cameras here over the last few years, trying to figure out what exactly it is that I want to carry with me. So because, in the words of retired Navy Master Chief Terry Mitchell, who was my mentor and my sea daddy back when I was in the Navy, told me the best camera to have is the one that you carry with you. And this is so true, because when it comes to chasing the light, you've got to be ready for it when it comes. So world light, so traveling light, chasing the light, because light shows up amazing ways in different things. So, you kind of look out and you see, a rainbow that's there. Well, rainbows don't last for a long period of time, and you're trying to shoot stuff, and you're trying, I've done stuff, one-handed out the window while driving, heading up towards the North Shore with the camera that I had. Are they always the best pictures? No. I said, but just something that gives you maybe a memory of that day or that moment in time, because that's what capturing the light is all about. You're capturing a snippet of what that day, that moment was like. So I'm not going to get super deep philosophically with it, but I kind of make some very corny references and whatnot, and my metaphors or whatever, they go off the rails. So I have been trying to start a YouTube channel, I think, for a while, and a lot of it is my procrastination, but probably a lot of it was because I was in a state of depression that was there. So that's the third part: traveling light, chasing the light, and then finding a light. And am I going to come up with some spiritual enlightenment stuff or whatever it happens to be? But maybe it is, and maybe that's the purpose of my channel, is to see. We've got just so much crap going on in the world that is crazy, and I'm trying to find. And this isn't going to be the hey, this is just the good news channel, but maybe that's what it is. I'm going to try to talk about bring drama into this YouTube channel. There's enough of that. I can point you in the right direction of places where you're trying to find all that stuff on it. I've tried to, or probably over the last year or so, is to disengage from highly political, toxic, negative energy, negative vibe type content, and I feel a whole lot better. So finding some peace and some inner light that I have going with that. If you want to find out how I reach this state of nirvana, maybe reach out to me. We can discuss that one-on-one, but or not. Or I'll just be completely transparent in everything that I do and how I feel and all of that stuff. But my life is pretty, but it's difficult to have a conversation on social media because there's a lot of different factors that come in with that, very nuanced. I mean, even it's hard to type things out and get the full meaning of what somebody is trying to say, and then people just pile on and they attack you, and then all of a sudden you don't want to even engage in that group anyway, because there's people that say stuff on social media that they wouldn't say to a person, and I don't know, maybe they do now, maybe that's the society we live in. I try to tend to not believe that people will say stuff on social media that they would not say to a person face to face. And fortunately, at least what I think for the most part in the photography world is you don't have a lot of that, pardon my French, but douchebaggery that happens in the artist community, more so than you do in some of the other things where people bash each other. But it happens. I don't care. You can comment however you want to. You don't like the way my hair looks today, whatever. I'm pretty sure I did the finger comb this morning. But anyway, I am currently residing in the Philippines. I'm newlywed. I have married a wonderful woman, wonderful young lady, and no, I'm not a cradle robber or snatcher or whatever that happens to be. I probably might cut that part out of it, or I just leave that here. So, but we have been working together, doing some things on social media, and I'm very thoughtful. I think about, been spending a lot of deep thoughts as what do I want to do? What do I have? What type of energy do I want to put out into the world? What type of positive vibe, good vibes, whatever word that you want to use for it, is how do I do that? I said I am a 20-year Navy veteran, retired, and this is my year of traveling light, and this is what the World Light Chaser channel is about. We will talk about those types of things and trying to uncomplicate your life, trying to find very simple ways to edit highly entertaining, informational videos that are out there. I will point you in the direction of people who have a lot more experience and are fantastic educators. I did teach video television production for 4 years for the United States Navy. Primarily Army students is what I taught, but I'm not going to go into all of that on this episode, this beginning introduction to the channel. I'm going to reveal some of that, I guess, my story that I have. I don't know, I might write a book someday, and I'm not sure who would read it. Maybe my dad, he is where I got my love from photography from, was from my father. We had a black and white dark room in our basement where I lived as a kid, and probably as soon as, I don't know if you can see the clock on the back where it actually has a sweeping hand that goes on. As soon as I could figure out how that all worked, that was dipping and dunking. We're doing wet processing, black and white prints as a probably 5-year-old, maybe. I probably might have been too short. I remember having a stool that was in there. We had a big stainless steel sink, and a wet process line that was in. Still, the smell of D76 and Fixer. If you know anything about chemical processing, you'll know what I'm talking about. Still stuck in my head. So anyway, it's me. You now see the introduction to that. You can see I probably have a good number of shorts that are out there on my other side. You can take a look at those. Try to figure out what type of clickbaity thumbnail to attract people to this. I don't know, Navy photographer reveals why he dumped all of his expensive camera gear to travel the world with, pocket-sized cameras. I don't know. So anyway, try to do this with minimal editing. I'm going to give you this is raw, uncut, unfiltered. I don't think I said anything that I have to bleep out. I said I did spend 20 years, and that's probably the third, fourth time I've said that. Spent some time in the Navy with sailors, so I could get pretty doggone salty. But hopefully I'm able to filter certain things out. But anyway, this episode is brought to you by Corn Coffee. Yeah, this isn't brought to you by anything, but this is something I might do another side channel, Peter McKinnon style, that talks about coffee, because I do like coffee, do like good coffee, and trying to find it, and then but also alternatives in the world, so I don't feel jittery, blood pressure doesn't go up, because that kind of screws up the whole peace and light vibe of the whole thing. So, recapping, what are we talking about? Ways that you can travel light. So we'll discuss some of those things, but a lot of it having to do with photographic equipment. And maybe we'll talk about, we'll discuss some of the images that I have captured, and then hopefully maybe we'll get some back and forth of sharing stuff together. YouTube is not necessarily the best way to do that. We'll probably might do some reviews of some channels that are out there that are putting out good content, and hopefully you'll find something that you like, and then you'll subscribe. But that will be down the road. I don't know. I think I'm too early on this to say whether or not you're going to like it and whether or not you're going to subscribe it. Maybe I'm subliminally telling you what to do. If you stuck with me this long, I don't even know how long I've been talking for. I guess we'll figure this out. I can talk and stay off topic. I probably should have written something down on which I did. I had every good intention to write out an outline, but I don't have one. So just winging it, because if I spend time doing this, it'll never get done. I think I haven't put this up because I've been procrastinating and everything else. So, but anyway, I'm here. Comment below if you like, some ideas of what either other YouTubers that are out there that you want to give a shout out down in the comments below, that are kind of covering some of the same topics of, minimalism of your gear. And, get below some of the things. I've been playing around with Resolve and iMovie and CapCut. I just updated on my 2020 MacBook Air, which is what I'm editing on, the software, so that I could actually download the latest version of the Final Cut Pro. And I do have some experience with Final Cut Pro from probably about 10 years ago. Never been a fan of Adobe Premiere. I like Photoshop and Lightroom, although I spend a lot more time in Lightroom than I do Photoshop these days. And so we're going to be getting kind of back into that and just showing you some stuff. I don't know how much I'm going to go through the whole process. Probably a little bit on there. Again, like I said, there's a much better YouTube channels that are out there that cover that stuff. Mark Denny is a landscape photographer, and he does a great job of explaining how to use Lightroom and Photoshop as a photographer. Aaron Quigley of Go Ask Aaron is a great resource for, she does workshops around the world. If you're an underwater photographer, I have some underwater photography that's there. I've been to the Digital Shootout, which is sponsored by Backscatter. And again, these are not sponsored. I don't have any sponsors. As you can tell that, because I only have like 66 subscribers, and there'll be more. There'll be millions of you will want to hear me ramble on and on and on. Probably not. So that's why I should end this. So good night, good evening, good day, and have fun out there, light chasing.